Hello everyone, VJ's free to back here with another how to play. I'm trying to get everything in the screen here. This today we're looking at is game Strato, which is I guess it was the Stratosphere or something like that. It is a new game from Helvetic that came out this year, designed by Sophia Wagner and artwork by Croker Team. It is a solo game, but there is a multiplayer variant that is cooperative. And it takes about 50 minutes, ages 8 to 99. It just came out this year. Oh, made in Switzerland, that's cool. Not China, or designed in Switzerland. Made in Poland, I should say. So, I assume, well, I might know the company that made it, but it is what it is. In the game, you get a bunch of cards and some tiles. You get these tiles here. So you're going to lay out on the bottom. They're numbered from 1 through 8. And you can use an amount based on what it says on this card here, this setup card. So this goes a max of 7 cards. So I have 1 through 7 on both sides. The game, Strato, is a game where you are, it's a logic card game, as it says. Multi-level logic card game. Where you're trying to manipulate the weather, control the elements, and overcome challenges. Basically, you're going to be playing a weather card, activating its ability, and overcoming the different challenges. There's 10 challenges. I'm starting off with level 0. We're just going to look at the level 0, but there's different challenges. Each one has different things on it. On the bottom, on the top of here, it says how many cards is the max that you can play on either side of these tornado. The tornado goes here in the middle, number 1. Make sure you don't put them backwards. And it tells me which weather I'm going to be using, rain and wind. And it tells me the level. Different ones are going to have different weather. Like this is going to use 4 weather. These are going to use 6. So if you're doing other levels and you're using more weather, you will have more tornadoes above, and you're going to have different columns and rows that you're going to be dealing with, and just more weather types. It's a bit more chaotic, just like the weather. Hey, it's perfect. Just like the weather, the more types of things going on, the more chaotic it is. So I like that. And the other types of weather you have are sun, cloud, fog, and storm, which is represented by lightning. And the ones we're using are, for this one, is rain and wind. That's the first level, the beginner level. They recommend doing that one first. So that's what we're doing. I got some more cards here. And I got some more tiles. Number 8, that's the end one. So, and then of course you got, these are your tornado cards. There's 6 total. I got the 2 set up for this one. 54 cards total. The weather, how much is that of each one? 9 of each one, apparently. Okay, I'll put those aside, and then you got these 10 challenge cards. And after doing one challenge, you can move on to the next one and go through all of them, and or you can redo the same one if you fail. Winning the game is pretty straightforward. For this level, for this challenge, is we need to have four of the rain cards on this side and 4 wind cards on this side. Different ones have different challenges. I can see this one has 2 different types of weather on one side and 2 on the other side. So this one actually, it's the rain and the wind, but you're gonna want to have like wind and then rain and then rain and then wind. So it amps it up a bit. You can have up to 8 cards. And this one is 4 different weather types, but you're gonna have 1 on one side, 1 on the other, and it's gonna be double. So it's gonna be like this: rain on one side, wind on the other, and then it's gonna be sun on the one side and fog on the other. But it's just 2 levels and more cards. So you get the idea. These cards tell you the effects of each of the types of weather, which I will talk about. And well, I'll mention a couple. I'll mention them all. Well, you know what? I'll set up the wind this game and we'll look at it. So the setup to start is going to mix up the cards. These are skinny little cards, just a smooth plastic little finish. Kind of what you usually get from Helvetique, except in a bigger box than you usually get. And you're going to take them and you're going to deal them out 2 on each side. And you cannot put a wind next to the wind, otherwise it's a bit too easy. You cannot put a rain next to a rain. You got to alternate, so I'm going to put that one there. This one's a wind, so I'm going to put it in the bottom. There we go. So you always want to alternate. When you're doing 4 or 6 weather types, and you're probably going to have a whole bunch of mix, and you're not going to have as much alternating as you do for this one. You're going to deal yourself a hand of 3 cards to start. If you're doing multiplayer, each player gets 2 cards instead. The game will end either once you've completed the objective. In this case, remember, 4 rain on one side and 4 the wind on the other side. Or it will end in defeat, in failure, if you have no more cards left in your hand and no more cards left to draw. And or you exceed this amount. Right now we're going to max of 7 cards on each side. So if we play an 8th card, or are forced to move a card over here that surpasses this limit, we also fail. So let's talk about the abilities. So this is where I got my hand. I'll leave it face up. And you can put these cards up here as well so you know what the abilities are. The wind lets me take a card from the row where I just placed it and move it in direction away from the wind, placing it between either 2 cards or at the end of the row. You always want to ensure when you're playing these cards, doing these actions, that you are definitively making a change. If I take an action, let's just say I have these cards here, and I play this card. Let's just say I have these cards here, and I play this card here. I cannot move this one here. I didn't change anything. It's the same weather. You know, you have to make an actual change. So the wind, the rain, that was the wind. So if I take the wind and play it over here, I have to take one card from this side and blow it away and place it between 2 cards ideally, or at the end. So placing it between these 2 cards on the end isn't going to make a difference, but I'm going to blow it over here. Once you have a gap, you just shove everything over towards the tornado. That's the wind power. The rain power is that after placing a rain card, you're going to take the card from the opposite end of that same row and insert it next to any tornado card. So I'm going to take this card, play it here. Same card, you're going to take a card that is in the same row, at the opposite end of the same row, and insert it next to any tornado card. Well, that would be... Also, as I point out, if I put this here, I cannot then move it over here. I cannot move... You cannot do the action on the card that you just played. So I'm going to put it here. Damn it. Well, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to take that and move this over here. I know it doesn't change anything, but it only says you have to definitively change something when you're doing the wind action. It doesn't say that for more or less any of the other actions. I'll briefly touch on the other ones. So the sun, when you play the sun, which we're not using in this scenario, what you do is take a card from the same row and put it in the discard pile. So I can play this one here, and then I would discard a card. That's what the sun does. The fog, That's this one right here. If I play that one, you would swap 2 cards that are in the same column. And you can also swap it with an empty space as long as it's in the same column. This only affects when you're playing cards that have multiple columns. And so I could play this, and if I had this card here, let's say I had it like this, I could swap these two using this ability. That's the way that one works. And hoping I'm not mixing things up. And then we have the clouds. The cloud card, the ability of the cloud card is that it copies the action of the last card played. And you just do the same action. So if I did the rain action and I play this, I can do the rain action again. And then finally, we have this one here, which is lightning. It's called the storm. And this one lets you swap a card at the end of a row with another card at the end of a row. So I can swap this card with a card at the end of this row, for instance. I just wanted to explain those. Now, I don't know what happened to the rest of the cards I had here. I only have one, apparently. Oh, good. Just a whole bunch of rain. So I have to play the rain card. Again, the ability is take card from the opposite end of that same row and insert the next thing, tornado card. Well, I'm going to place that here. I'm going to swap this one with this one. Draw a card. Oh, it's wind. Wind. So for instance, I could... I was trying to think of how I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to place this one here and bring this over here. Now, because I'm just going to put it there, it's not going to change anything. I'll put it here. Now, what the max here of 7 cards, so I can't put any more on this side. I'll draw a card. I guess I have no choice but to play this one here. And I can move any card, correct? It's on the opposite end. Okay. Well, I can take this one and move it over here. Moving everything over. Oh no. All I got is tornadoes. And that means I gotta play this tornado over here. Or the wind, not the tornado, sorry. And I gotta take a card from that side and move it away from the wind. Well, technically, I believe I could move this over here. It's the same thing, it's moving away. Then we get rain. Well, I'm going to play this one here, and I'm going to move the card over, moving everything over this way. And I'll draw a card. You know, I did this before. I was practicing before this, and I actually succeeded. Oh no, I have failed now for sure. I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, if I play this tornado card here, that row's filled. If I play this one, play this rain here, it's going to force me to move a card over. That's gonna, well, it's going to force me to move this one over here next to the tornado. Okay, that works. The problem is now I don't have room for any more cards, so I failed. Ideally, what you want is to have, in order to win, you need to have 4 rain next to the rain and 4 wind next to the wind. I didn't do that, so I failed. I was defeated. But that is the game in a nutshell. Hopefully it makes sense. Again, it's a bit more interesting and more chaotic if you're doing more suits or weather types, sir, and have more abilities. Just as two abilities, you're either taking a card and moving it this way or that way, I suppose, depending which side you play it on. Or, yeah, basically that's what you do. You moving one card over or moving one to the other side. It's basically the same thing. That is the game. Decent quality components. Yeah, I do think this is a little bit fiddly putting these together, if you know what I mean. It's a little bit putting it together, these puzzle pieces, and they may not fit together depending on your surface very well or stay together. It's either all falling apart. I do think that you don't necessarily need them. You can just keep track of how many cards you have. It's not that hard. Uh, I got 6 nights. So actually, technically, it's supposed to be max of 7. So technically, I can keep going and hope to find some success. I don't think that I would, but I already messed up everything anyways. So you get the general idea. Technically, is it 7? I don't know. I guess it includes these two tornadoes. That would be 7. So, anyways, it's an interesting game. Might not be everyone's cup of tea. I think it's kind of cool. So if that, that, comment, like, subscribe. I know what you think. Unlike the Democrats, you can't control the weather with this game. So that is that. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.